This is what I call the healing ground. When you are with what is without judging and you have an acknowledgement, acceptance, and understanding, you create space for what is. There's compassion towards what is. That is the healing ground. And it also puts you in a position where you start to get an inkling about that you cannot judge anything as good or bad. There's not any situation that is a good situation or a bad situation. There's only assumptions and judgment about a situation to say whether it's a good or bad thing. In itself, it's not. Because think about it. Who would have known that the things that you have been through in your life that is leading you to this point right now was actually the things that you needed to attain your freedom? Who knew? Here you were, 15 years old, 30 years old, things happened that you really, really thought when you were in it was horrendous. You got cancer, you lost a child, I don't know what happened, but really, really big things where when you're in it, you cannot imagine how you will ever get over this, how you will ever survive this. And in the moment, if you had had a wand, you would have winked it and it wouldn't have happened. But that was part of the maturing process that leads you to this point where you're on a path with the Fetter work to achieve your freedom. Who knew? Who knew? And that being humble to reality in that sense, to presence in that sense, that's the healing ground, because it also puts you in a place where who are you to know what Smith needs to do to attain their freedom? Who are you to know? Who are you to know what decision another person needs to make to attain your freedom? It might not be what you think they should do, but clearly they're doing it. You're not in the equation. It's their life. You're selfing. You can just pack it away. Not needed. Back to the healing ground. Create space. Whatever Smith is doing in their lives is completely fine. Completely fine. It's got nothing to do with you. And your opinions about it, completely irrelevant. Your assumption about what's going to happen if they do or don't do what they're going to do or don't do, your assumptions about that, not relevant at all. Not relevant at all. That is selfing. That is you right now really, really honestly believing that you know better than they do. Well, did anybody know what happened to you would have been what you needed to achieve your freedom? No, of course not. Of course not. It's arrogance to believe that we know better than reality. Arguing with reality, that's so arrogant. Clearly, Smith knows what is best for them because they're doing it. They're doing it. You can't argue with that. It is as it is. So what you do, what is your ball game? What is your job while you're here, is to create the healing ground for you. What is the healing ground? First of all, in the healing ground is no selfing. Believing that there is an I that has an opinion, I'm entitled to that opinion, that's so delusional. There's no I. There's no one to self with. It's just thoughts that are thinking, creating scenarios in the thoughts about what it's thinking. It's like me, myself, and I. You're revolving around yourself, only about yourself, only about yourself. Get into the space where you acknowledge, Smith is now making a decision I would not make. Is it my business? No, it's not. Do I have anything to do with that? No, I don't. Is there anybody here that knows better than reality? No, clearly not. Reality is what is happening. Expectations is what is making you believe that something else than reality could and should happen. But that's mind-made. It's not reality. Whenever you get that urge to self, you get that urge to tell Smith off or direct Smith in the right path or come with good advice or whatever, and go for a walk. be quiet, just be quiet and go for a walk.